Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. I'm certainly glad to have you today. And as always, we want to thank our sponsors, BTC Fiber, for providing this show. And you can see this show on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as cable channel 18. And today we have with us, of course, you know him as Cody McCarver. He wears several hats around here, don't you?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But today we want to talk with Cody about a show that he's doing. It's finally got on Tubi. Is that right? Tubi and Hulu. And so go ahead, Cody. Tell us a little bit about
Tubi, Roku, Heartland Network, and then hopefully BTC Fiber. I've talked to Ethan about it. I just hadn't given him anything yet, but it's people are watching it.
We're talking about Small Town America, in case you haven't, and it's really a good. I got to watch it first the other day on Tubi, and had a good time. I watched 3 episodes in, and there's 6 episodes?
12.
12. 12.
Yeah, there's 12. You got a long way to go.
Yeah, I do. And of course, you got a lot of local people in it, and I enjoyed the first few where you're talking about the mercantile and showing all the work that went into getting it ready. And of course, that was a big undertaking.
Yeah, that's kind of how everything started. Was that, and Becky, Louie and Becky, invited me to be a part of the restoration of the mercantile. And Becky is a avid reality TV show watcher.
Yeah.
And so she watches a lot of HGTV and things like that. I don't. And as we were beginning to record, or beginning to restore the Dunlap Mercantile, she made a statement that we should make a reality TV show out of this. Nobody is restoring a building. On HGTV or Discovery. A lot of people are flipping houses and restoring houses, but nobody is doing a building. And I think they are now, but that's a whole other thing that I won't go into. But anyway, I went down to the pawn shop and bought some DSLR cameras and my cell phone, bought some GoPros and things like that, and just began to film. And you can see how bad the Dunlap Mercantile was inside it if you watch. And we just begin to film, and then the stories begin to come. Like if you've seen episodes 2 and 3, kind of centered around Jesse James. And so that was the people coming in telling stories about the building and things like that. So that's kind of how it all started. And it was just her idea. And golly, it was the undertaking to do the mercantile was a lot. The TV show was more. Right. It was a lot.
More than just getting out there with a camera and filming.
Yeah. See, John Schneider, who is like a brother to me, John and I talk all the time. We toured together. His wife, who he lost 2 years ago this month, she was really involved in Dunlap. She loved Dunlap. And John did too, and he was here all the time with me, recording, writing. We did a couple of movies around that time called Stand On It and Poker Run. Hopefully we're about to do a third one. And it was just, he was here and it was like, let's get involved. Let's have fun and get involved too. So he did, and she did, and which made it better. I mean, anything John's going to do is going to make it better. And initially, John was going to be the person who edited the TV show. He was going to sit down and do the editing. And he seen what a undertaking it was going to be, and he was like, man, I just don't have time to sit down and edit this TV show. So we spent a lot of time just filming, putting together footage, things like that, stories, like the Jesse James story. And then I met Aaron Lanigan, or actually Louie met Aaron Lanigan, who was parking cars at the top of the Rock restaurant. And of course Louie talks to everybody. And Louie said, hey, what do you do? Well, I've got a degree in film. And, oh, you should come and see us. And next thing I know, Aaron and I are sitting there. And we're just getting to know one another. And he's filming stuff, and we got the studio going, and got TVs and editing software. And I looked at him and I said, "Have you ever watched reality television?" And he goes, "No, a little bit. I watched Duck Dynasty a little bit, not much." I said, "Well, I've never seen an episode of any. And let's keep it that way. And let's just make a TV show, and then if it's good, people will watch it. And if it's not, they won't." And that's kind of how it started. And it's been, it's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The TV show's fun. If you read the bio on the TV show, it says, if you want to laugh, if you want to cry, if you want to know history, because it's part documentary, then, you need to watch this TV show.
Yeah.
And I've got people right now, we haven't really started to market it yet, but I got people all over the country sending me pictures of them watching it on their television.
Oh.
A guy sent me a picture of J.C. James' actual pistols that he had bought.
Oh, really?
I've just got stuff coming in everywhere all the time.
Wow.
And become popular at Walmart.
Yeah.
I go in there, I'm watching the show, it's great. So I've enjoyed it.
Well,
I think it represents the pride of a small town. Not just Dunlap, but all small towns.
Right.
And Pikeville and Whitwell and Spencer and Grundy County and Palmer and Grundy County, all the small towns across America. I think it kind of represents. I have a line in the show where I say I wouldn't trade this small town for Washington D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, and all these big cities. I wouldn't trade it, and I wouldn't.
No.
So that was the idea behind it.
Well, and like you said, that could be any small town, anywhere. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe you,
When you go watch it on Roku, the TV show, if you've seen the logo, it says Small Town America. There's a little sign that hangs down that says Dunlap, Tennessee, right?
Right.
The show is actually called Small Town America, Dunlap, Tennessee. And I did that on purpose because there might be a Small Town America, Spencer, Tennessee.
Yeah.
There might be another one later that is another town. I can't go to Oklahoma because I got threw out of there once, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, that could, a lot of these, like you said, this series on fixing up houses, and they do different houses and different things, and a lot of these reality shows, they're pretty much the same thing. They're just in different places, different locations. So maybe you've come upon something. Who knows?
I think this one is unique. There's people come back and say, "Well, it reminds me of Moonshiners," reality TV show.
Yeah.
And Tim Smith's a dear friend of mine. And when we got finished with, some episodes and trailers and things, I took it to Tim.
Yeah.
And he watched it. Said it's great. let's take it to Discovery Network. And people will watch it and say, "Well, I get a little Duck Dynasty out of it." And you get a little bit of, I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
We want to put a little of those things in there, but we want to make it unique too. And I think it's unique. I think it's unique because of the faith. I had people come to me and say, "Oh man, I'm serious about my faith, right?" And I had people come to me and say, "Oh, you need to make it a Christian, 100% glorify God throughout the show." And these were some people that are in the Christian film business. And I said, "Well, if I do that, then only the church will watch it. And I want everybody to watch it."
Yeah.
Right? So
sure.
If it's pegged as a Christian TV show, then only the church is going to watch it. But if a guy's watching it who, maybe likes Moonshiners, and somewhere in the show a Bible verse is shown or a cross or somebody, he eventually goes, "Oh wow, this is a Christian show.
Yeah.
This is good. I like this." And maybe he keeps watching. Maybe I'm in now. I got to watch it all now.
Yeah.
So it's a ministry in itself. It's a glorify God TV show. It is family. It's family oriented, so anybody can watch it.
Right.
There's no language or anything like that. So it's I think it hits home with a lot of people, and it's I've not had anybody beat me up yet about it. Let's put it that way. Nobody said anything negative to me, and I'm waiting because it's coming. Got a little negative on social media. I put up a video about the story of Jesse James robbing a bank going up on Cagle Mountain. They split up, and he comes back down Cagle Mountain with a mule hauling gold. He stops and buries it, hides it to come back and get it later, I guess. And evidently it's still there. And I put that story on the show. Took a clip of the show, put it on Facebook, my Facebook page. It got 30,000 views in 3 or 4 days. And a lot of comments about how I didn't know what I was talking about. And evidently they don't get the idea that the very first thing I say when I open my mouth is, the legend is.
Yeah.
Not, this happened, I know it happened. How do I know it happened?
Yeah.
But there's a lot, Jason James got a lot of history in this valley, in these mountains. And it's true that he does. And I don't know if there's gold there or not, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's fun watching John trying to climb up the mountain. That was fun. I enjoyed watching y'all. And
yeah, he didn't want to do that. He was against that. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but in reality, he was really against it. He didn't. I don't want to do this, you know. And Norman Christian,
yeah,
who is our resident hillbilly on the show, and that's what he is. I love Norman. Known him all my life. He ended up being a part of the show because of that. Because he had searched for this treasure. He knew in his mind that it was there. And something, you know, he's going to find something. So over the years, Norman's kind of looked for it, and he's heard the stories. And so he took us up there in the mountains looking for the gold. And it wasn't all that much fun, I'll just tell you.
No, I sat there thinking, I don't know if I'd want to do that, even if I had the right shoes.
I said the only way we're going to find it is if we take a helicopter. So I'm working on that for season 2, and there is a season 2.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because I know just from watching, I know y'all had fun doing it, and that's half of the deal is having fun, and you know, and all the different from the different point of views. I noticed the contractor when you just. And his point, I'd watch him when he said, "I don't know about this. It's gonna, you know," and then talking about that was fun to watch that, get the different perspectives back and forth, and that's just what these shows do. You know, that you hear one side and you hear the other side, and go back and forth, and it's just a great thing. And if nothing else, I see it as. There might be somebody who's going to go on vacation one day. Maybe they're going to go to Florida, but they say, "Hey, I need to stop by Dunlap, and see where this is." You know,
buy a cup of coffee at the Game Shack, or you know, get something from the local depot, or a hat from Mercantile, or whatever. You know, that's kind of one of the reasons we did that. You know, was it would help businesses. But the show has drama, like you're talking about. It's got drama. It's got fun. It's got faith. It's got all those things, and we did that on purpose. And we put it together on purpose that way. But there's not any of it that's not real. So it's not like we are acting or anything. It's just these things happen. We filmed it, and then you know when we flooded. When if you watch the whole show, we get down in I think episode 10 or 11, and I came in. It was right after Christmas that year.
Yeah.
And we got some really severe cold weather, if you remember.
Yeah.
And the prayer room and the Mercantile flooded. To tell you that this stuff's real, we're not. You know, this is how you can know. When I came into the Mercantile, I just came to check on things.
Yeah.
I think it was a Sunday or a Monday. I thought, I'm going to go check on things in the Mercantile. Been real cold. And I opened the back door of the Dunlap Mercantile, and I started splashing around in 2 inches of water.
Oh, no.
And I was like, wow. And I could hear it running out of the ceiling. And so I walked over and flipped the light switch on, which was not the smartest thing I've ever done, standing in 2 inches of water.
Yeah.
But, you know, nothing happened, and Heath, our contractor, was working on another building. But he wasn't, you know, none of those guys to help me figure this out was my first call. My first call was to Aaron.
Yeah.
bring a camera and come here and let's film this. And of course he ran down real quick, brought cameras and started to film, and then I called our contractor. We figured out how to stop the pouring of the water into the building, which is to shut the water off, but I was pretty shook up. I didn't know, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So, it's all ripped.
And too, when you first started, when you ripped the floor out and everything, you had water coming.
Yeah, in the Mercantile, when we got, this floor was so bad. It was just all rotted out. Everything was ruined. It had been sitting there for 55 years, best we come up with. And it had flooded more than once.
Right.
And we had to build the sidewalks up and seal the front of it to keep it from being flooded again.
Yeah.
And so it was just a mess. And then we get it all cleaned out. We take all the floor out, everything out of the building, all the countertops that have been there since 1894.
Yes.
We take all the stuff out of the building, we're down to a dirt floor, and it starts flooding again. And it's just water pouring out of the walls. And I'm like, where's this coming from? There's got to be something that's doing this. And, we finally figured it out. But I don't know what it is about that building and water. But there's something to it.
Maybe it's trying to baptize you or something.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe it just keeps baptizing the building.
Yeah. Well, I know, like I said, that building has had history, a lot of history. And I know once you got it restored, Becky was asking for pictures and people and stories from people. And a lot of people have a lot of history with that building. And so it's something that everybody can appreciate. I know when I go in there now, I look at it and I'm thinking, man, as a writer, sometimes I start envisioning stories,
right.
People talking over here about trying to buy, because they had all kind of stuff in the Mercantile back in its day.
Yeah.
And y'all got quite a bit yourself. Just the stories, and a lot of people love stories, and they're good stories. And like you said, this is stories. It's nothing out of the way, that you can't watch. It's family friendly.
Right.
And there's very few of those things anymore.
Sure enough.
Because everybody's got to have their slant to it. And I know when I wrote a book, when I was working with some students, we told them, hey, when you make your edits, we don't want any curse words. And they said, oh, don't worry, we won't do that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
Because it made me feel better.
Yeah, I just don't think it's necessary.
No.
It's, there's songs, I tell people all the time that there's songs that people write that'll have a foul word in it. And maybe it needed to be there. The Devil Went Down to Georgia is one of them. And he says, I done told you once, you son of a, I'm the best it's ever been. And I mean, if you was going to call somebody that word, the devil would be a good one to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then Charlie ended up re-recording that song, and he put Son of a Gun in it.
Yeah.
So, there are things out there that where I hear a foul word and it fit. And I just don't feel like it's necessary in conversation. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
And the reality TV show was conversation. And, like Heath he has a degree in theology.
Oh, he does? I didn't know that.
And he was a Baptist minister for years. So his faith is strong, and he was not one to say words. Even though it sounds like he does in the first episode, he didn't.
Yeah.
I just made it sound like he did. So it's just not necessary. And I wanted it to be family. I wanted people to watch it that were family. They could sit down together and watch it and say, oh, I know this place. This is my town.
Uh-huh.
Or, I've been there, whatever that looks like. And be proud of it. And be proud of what we were doing. The Mercantile being restored was nothing more than Becky saying, I'm from Dunlap, I love Dunlap, and I want to do something for Dunlap.
Yeah.
And that's why the Mercantile got restored, because those people that come through Dunlap, there's a lot of people moving in here, they don't know
right.
that the side of the street we're on right now, there used to be buildings down through here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're all gone. That's history that's just gone now.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want these buildings to be gone. And they would have been eventually. Mm-hmm. And but we didn't want them to be gone, and Becky was dead set on them not being gone.
Yeah.
And the Dunlap Mercantile was built in 1894. It was the first TV in town was sold out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first telephone. Though, Andy Griffith ain't be telephone. The first car. I've got a photo. A lot of people don't know this about the Dunlap Mercantile. I have a photo somewhere around 1903 to 1910. I don't know the exact date, but there's guys standing in front of the Mercantile. This road, Rankin Avenue's dirt. And they're standing there with their arms crossed like this, and there's a car sitting there. And you can see the wheels are wood, spoke wood, right? And in each window, it says the Ford Agency. So it's the Ford Oval. And you would come into the Mercantile, pick out a car and catalog, and it would be shipped here.
Oh.
So the first car in the valley, I'm told, and I know there'll be somebody that'll say, well, you're wrong. And I may be. I don't know. I wasn't there. So the first car in the valley was sold out there.
Wow.
And a guy still has it in Florida.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of history in that building, in these blocks right here. Just these, think about it.
Yeah.
And
just the building we're in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the stories and the history, and we could go on making a TV show for the next 30 years. I'm not going to do that, but there's just a lot of history in this little town, and every little town. And the TV show, I say, these little towns across America are what makes America thrive.
Yes.
It's not the cities. It's not Washington, D.C. It's the little towns, the hard-working men and women that live in these towns.
Well, and I know once you got all that filmed, your episodes filmed, it took you a while to get someone to take it up, right?
Yeah, I'm in the entertainment business, I'm in the music business. I don't know a lot about film or movies and things like that. I leaned on John Schneider, and I leaned on his wife, Alicia. And I asked a lot of questions about how we do this. Now, John has a mindset of an independent artist, and so did she. She was like, put it on YouTube and to heck with everybody else. I'm like, well, I want to fill my options out a little bit here. I remember I got up one morning at about 3:30 in the morning, and I drove to Pigeon Forge, and I met with the Discovery Network. And Tim Smith from the Moonshiners, he set that up because that's where his show is, right?
Right.
And I drove up there, I sat down with these people in a cabin, and we talked and visited. I showed them some episodes, and then they began to tell me what they were going to do, which was recreate it. All the music, when it comes on and you hear the song Small Town America I wrote, that we recorded it in the studio here, that's me singing it. The closing song, Working on the Building, that's me and John singing, and we recorded it here. That's all done right here. Yeah. And I had that mindset. I'm not going to let you change it. Why would you want to take my music out of this for? Or anybody else's music?
Right.
Lou Card has a song in every episode when it comes on. It's boom, down, down, down. That's one of the greatest opening songs I've ever heard for anything. Why would we change that? And it was all because they didn't want to pay for it. So we went to Discovery Network. Then we went to HGTV. And immediately they said, well, you messed up. And I'm like, how did I mess up? And they said, well, you should have let us come to film it. And I'm like, well, why? I mean, we're in the middle of tearing the floor out over here. I can't call you and tell you to come and film. Yeah. And so I filmed it, and I put it together. You either want it or you don't. And at that time, there were, probably shouldn't say this, but at that time, there were no TV shows about restoring a commercial building.
Yeah.
After I had a conversation with this company in Los Angeles, and HGTV, which is part of that, right? They began to pop up from HGTV. So, kind of gave them my idea, and they did it, and that's fine. So, the more and more I talked to people, the more and more I said, I don't like these ideas,
Yeah.
I went to Nashville and met with people. I went to the Heartland Network, and we weren't ready when we went to the Heartland Network, but at any rate, gave it to a distribution company in Los Angeles. They began to pitch it, and people began to pick it up. So now we're Roku, Tubi, And then I went to, a lot of people don't know this, but the Heartland Network is out of Chattanooga.
Oh, really? That I didn't know.
They have their main office is in Chattanooga, and then was owned by a guy named Henry Lucan, who used to own our golf course here. Okay, but Henry has sold it to some other people now, and his sister still runs it. She's a sweetheart named Terry Cole, and they have big offices now in Nashville. So, I went to Nashville the other night and for an event that they had for a reality show they're putting out with Keith Stegall called High on a Hill, and met all those folks, and they're coming here to Dunlap in a couple weeks, and they love the idea of the show. They're into everything about the show. They're not asking me to fix it, change it, do anything with it. Let's just play it and get people to watch it, and that's I like that.
Well, good.
And although they said they wanted to change the name of Dunlap to Heartland, Tennessee, and I'm like, no, I don't think we'll do that.
No, I don't think so.
First off, you'd have to find everybody in Dunlap.
Yeah.
And I'm not for it either. So, but it was some feeling out process.
Yeah.
Learning what it needed to happen. It may end up on ABC for the second season. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know if it's that good, but it's something I'm really, really proud of. And
well, and you take it this way, you take people like Heartland and all those other companies who are in the business and do this on a regular basis and know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you didn't know what you was doing, but
you can say it, it's all right.
But you take it when you find just local people that did this mm-hmm. and put it together, and they go, hey, it's not bad. What else have they got over there?
Yeah, there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of people here who, it's amazing to me the more and more that I uncover people who, play fiddle or guitar, sing, and they want to do it for a living. They just don't have an outlet to do it for a living. And I try, after me being on the road for 25 years and in and out of Nashville and California and New York and all the places I've been, I've learned a lot. And mostly what not to do.
Yeah.
But that seems to be what sticks in my mind. But I try to give back to people and say, here, here's what I would do, or let's record you, let's get you down on something. And it's amazing how much talent's here. And maybe Heartland sees that. They've asked me about putting on songwriters events here, in the yard or a game shack or the Mercantile or in the street or something like that. So. There's a lot of talent here.
Well, and that, like tourism, that'll bring people in, and then when those people that work for those networks take a vacation, maybe they say, hey, I'd like to go back to Dunlap, that was a cool place.
Yeah.
And come down here and visit and spend their tax dollars.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people, Becky says in the show, she said, we want to have something here that people will come hear a concert, and I hope I don't offend nobody when I say this, but people come here, spend some money with us, spend some time with us, get to know us, and then go home.
Yeah.
She said, and then go home, and that was our goal, was to brings revenue to Dunlap, and tourism does that. We're a beautiful place, man. All the valley's beautiful. And when you're a kid, like I say in the TV show, when I grew up here, we had that one red light we're sitting underneath right here, and we had nothing to do. And sometimes I wish it was still that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish I miss Leon's and Win Bob's and the drive-in and riding up and down the road drinking beer. Wait, can I say drinking beer? And I miss that, but Dunlap's growing.
Yeah, it sure is.
And it's probably going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I'm the devil's advocate. I'm like, boy, I really don't like this growth, but it helps our community. And
to me it brings in some fresh ideas. Now, don't tell us how you did it back where you come from.
Yep.
Just
if you liked it that much there, then why did you come?
Yeah.
Right.
But tell us if you got some ideas. I'm always open to fresh ideas.
Sure.
And listen to them, and because I want to hear what other people think.
I love the idea of hearing what people think. People come into Mercantile all the time from everywhere. and they said, well, we moved to Pikeville from Connecticut. I met a couple. I met a guy that moved to Fredonia Mountain from Brooklyn, New York.
Really?
Yeah. He was very excited about being here, and he was just, this is the most beautiful place in the world, and I can't believe it. I'm 65 years old and I just now found it. You know.
Well.
And I hear that all the time from people, but the number one thing that I do hear from people is, and I've not met all of them, but is, man, we don't want to change nothing. We love it. And you know, if you start trying to change things, there's a lot of local people that live here.
Yeah.
You know, you may think there's a lot of people moving here, but the local people that grew up here, I'm from here, and lived on Kegel Mountain all my life. You know.
Yeah.
Other than 6 years I lived in Nashville, but I think that, you know, you can't come in here and start changing stuff, because the local people they'll put up a fight over that. We like our little town, you know.
Yeah. Well, I know I've been here. I transferred in, but I've been here over 40 years, so now I'm a local.
That's what I tell Clint. You know, he's kind of he's been here for that long, probably.
Yeah, probably.
He's our mayor. Love Clint, and I think Clint's just done a fine job, right? I call him a recovering Yankee.
Could be. Might be quite a few of those around here.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, I do appreciate you being with us. And remember, folks, it's Heartland TV, and you'll see it on Roku, Tubi, Hulu.
No, it's not on Hulu. It's coming to Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, and it's not there yet. But, yeah, the Heartland Network shows it on Saturdays.
Right.
So Heartland Network Saturday nights. Then you can stream it right now if you're watching this. And I hate to take you away from watching BTC Fiber, but it's on Roku, and it's on Tubi, which is, these are just apps you get like anything else.
Right.
You know? If you buy a TV now at Walmart, it says Roku and Tubi on it. You know. So,
yeah.
And Tubi, I was really surprised that Tubi had a bunch of Super Bowl ads.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing, and it's a good thing for the TV show. And
yeah.
So for people to watch, you know, advertisement's a good thing. So yeah, that's where you can watch right now. And then we sell DVDs.
Right, I was going to ask you about that.
There's DVDs in the Dunlap Mercantile. If you have a DVD player, I found out that a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But if you have a gaming system, Xbox, PlayStation, things like that, you can also watch it on DVD. It's got the music videos on the DVD from the show, like You and Me in Tennessee, Small Town America, God Did That, which was Inspirational Country Song of the Year, and it was filmed here. So, and it's in the TV show. So the DVDs are a really cool thing. You open it up and it's got 2 discs.
Right.
And all 12 episodes are on there, and you can watch it right there.
Well, that's great. I'm excited about that, because, like I say, when I heard it was on Tubi, I first thought it was on Friday night, and I kept looking for it on Friday night, and I thought, well, where is that? And then I realized it was on Saturday night, so I thought,
Yeah.
well, I'll have to wait. And but then when I plugged it in, when I turned it on and everything, I thought, well, this is pretty neat. This is pretty cool.
It's well done, man. Aaron and his wife Brittany
They're really good.
they're brilliant, and
they are.
I don't know how to do the buttons on the computer, right? And I go to him and I say, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to capture, this is what I've written, you know, or this is what happened, and the testimonials I write, and which is when I pop up on the couch, or, you know, and say something, or Norman does, or Becky does, or Louie, whatever. I don't, you know, I try to throw out my ideas, and then they make it theirs, you know.
Yeah.
But then Aaron takes all that, and he turns it into a TV show.
Yeah.
And you know, I said, well, how about this music? Well, how about that music? And it's just, the crazy thing about it is I'll put that reality TV show up against anything. And there was 2 of us that made it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it is good for those of you that haven't not seen it. It's really pretty decent for a show, and I really enjoyed it. And I just didn't have time to watch the rest. And I thought
You have to watch the rest of it. You'll cry.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you'll cry. And I had a guy call me the other day from West Virginia. He said, man, I want to come down there and I want to film. and I want you guys to do it at Studio Dunlap, and like you did this TV show. Well, he said, you must have a whale of a crew down there. And I'm like, well, no, there's just 3 of us. So it's a lot of talent in this town.
Yes, there is.
And Aaron's a big part of that.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in today.
Been a pleasure. I would have dressed better had I knew we were filming.
Well, my apologies for that. And but anyway, it's all right. And
well, he said, I said, if I'd have dressed better if I knew we were filming, and he goes, well, I'll make you look good.
Yeah. And that's a hard job. No, just because to me, being in the show, I'll make him look good. Anyway, hey, I appreciate you listening and watching us, and you can see this on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as Cable Channel 18. So until next time, have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.